that can cause problems. It looks like they've gone in. Is the policeman going for a pint? Anyway, as soon as something happens, I'll start the video. See you in a minute. I don't know who. But yeah, I was just chatting to him about dog parked up to go and get some dinner. Not exactly brilliant parking, is it? Let's be honest. That's going to make a wonderful shot. Yeah. So why are the police here? Good morning, Street Switch back in Melton. We're coming down the morning after Scarfest. Now, I think it's free entry today down at Scarfest, but yesterday apparently was quite successful. I think there was a couple of problems, but no event goes without having problems. They're just collecting the portaloos now, or everything has gone, but I think they'll just have music on today and everything, which is pretty good. So the tidy up process begins. I haven't seen Dean from Town Estate yet, but I thought I'd pop down. Now, there's been a couple of people moaning online, which you will get, obviously, but all in all, a successful event. I took a walk round, I didn't see any problem with it. Apparently they ran out of beer at one point, so people were going up to Wetherspoons and the Grapes and causing trouble because they'd had too much to drink and stuff like that. Now, I know, like I say, events do have problems. They do have teething problems, and you know, you were paying tickets to get in, I understand that, but you can expect this wherever you go for an event. They were saying the stage was smaller this year, the blah blah blah, you know, the usual culprits or the usual suspects. But all in all, I'm getting reports that it was a good event. I've asked 3-4 people this morning and they've all said, yeah, it was alright. And now the clear up begins. I don't know how long it takes them to take down the stage, but I thought I'd pop down and have a quick look. Now, the reason I'm actually down here today is to address the issue of people online basically turning around and saying walking dogs in hot weather is bad. Well, you're stating the obvious. Yes, it is bad, depending on what heat it is and what breed of dog you're walking. If, for example, you are walking a King Charles Spaniel, which have been bred to have flat noses and they have trouble breathing, and you're walking that dog in 24 degrees, that dog will have trouble breathing and it is a risk to life. Now, I've got very much, I've got a lot of experience with dogs because I worked for the DAC for a number of years, working with dogs, working dogs, mainly German Shepherds, Malleys, things like that. So I know what I'm talking about. As I said before, I know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, if you've got a German Shepherd and you're taking that German Shepherd out in 24 degree heat and it's a youngish German Shepherd, you're absolutely fine. Let me make that very clear. Carry water with you at all times and use common sense. So basically, place your hand on the floor and see whether the floor is too hot for you to keep your hand on it, because if it's too uncomfortable for you to keep your hand on it, it's going to be too uncomfortable for the dog to be able to walk on it. It's basically down to common sense. Now, if it's reaching between 27, 28, 29 degrees, I personally wouldn't take my dog out in that sort of weather. But again, myths and things like that, it affects different breeds in different ways. So, for example, again, King Charles Spaniels have been bred to have flat noses. They have trouble breathing. If you're taking it out in really, really hot weather, that would be deemed stupid, in my opinion. Just use common sense. That's it. Now, as we're down the car park in Melton, we're near the council offices, we can still see that the car park meters are still covered up. There are a couple that are working, as far as I know, but they're still covered up. So what we need to do is basically get these fixed, which I think the leader of the council is actually in the process of doing. I don't know whether it's free parking on a Sunday, but what I thought I'd do after that, after mentioning the dogs and everything else, again, you get a lot of people online that don't know fuck all about dogs and just jump on the bandwagon saying you shouldn't be walking your dog in 24 degree heat or 22 degree heat because of blah blah blah. And again, if it's a King Charles Spaniel and it's been bred to have a flat face like that, because that's how they breed them, which in my opinion is cruel, but people want these designer dogs, and they're usually the ones online complaining that you shouldn't be walking dogs in this heat and stuff like that. How the fuck do you think working dogs get on in Afghanistan and things like that? And I know they're working dogs and not pets, but they are in much hotter climates than what we have here. And yes, I know it's getting hotter and more humid and all that lot before anybody mentions that. But again, you've got to use your head. Put your hand on the floor like so, for 20 seconds. If it's too hot for you to keep your hand there, it's going to be too hot for your dog to walk on. Now, dogs don't lose heat through conventional ways like humans do. We sweat through our skin. Dogs pant and they lose sweat through their paws and through their tongue. So if you can imagine being out in 30-degree heat as, let's say, for example, a black Labrador, yes, it's going to be damn hot, and I've seen enough dogs, especially black Labradors, that have been suffering with heat exhaustion. Now, you get these people that lock the dog in cars without cracking a window in extreme heat and all the rest of it. Again, it is down to common sense. Bitching about it online and not using common sense, it seems to be a common theme around Great Britain nowadays, and I don't know why. I'm just seeing so much heat. Now, what brought this on was yesterday. It was 22 to 23 degrees here in Melton Mowbray, and I brought my dog down for a haircut. He's a long-haired dog, and I thought he needed a haircut because he was a bit, scruffy looking and everything else. So I brought him down, and on the way back on the bus, two old ladies was telling us that it was too hot to have my dog out in that weather. So I proceeded to explain to these people that I worked with dogs for a number of years and I know what I'm fucking doing. My dog's absolutely fine, by the way. I did put my hand on the floor. I do carry water with me everywhere when I've got my dog, even for myself. I keep myself hydrated. And I basically use something that we seem to be lacking in this country at the moment: common fucking sense. So, yeah, there you have it. Like I say, you can walk dogs in hot weather, just not ultra hot weather like 28, 29 and 30 odd degrees. You're better off keeping your dog in the shade, keeping them on a cooling mat, which to be honest doesn't do a lot, but put a fan on them close to the head because they pant and lose heat that way. It's all up in air, isn't it? Now, I believe we've got a new coffee shop in town down at the train station, so I thought I'd come and have a quick look because we all know how much I enjoy my coffee. It's called Steam and Bean. Steamer Bean. When it's open, I don't know. We'll get the opening hours, but we'll go and have a quick look. I don't know where the coffee shop actually is. But we've got a nice train station down here. Please keep your personal belongings with you at all times.
Speak to a member of railway staff or the British Transport Police. You can text the British Transport Police on 61016. Remember the 3 S's. See it, say it, sorted. For your safety, please keep away from the platform edge.
See it, sorted. Robotic. So where's this fucking coffee shop then? I do not see it. It's got no sign above it. So I can come down tomorrow and have a cup of bloody coffee. No cycling. Remember not to cycle on a train, people. Is it across the other side? It must be. Is that it? Do you have to cross the bridge to get to it? Or is this it? Here it is. Closed, 4:30 p.m. So yeah, here's your new coffee shop. We will be trying it out, and I'll do a review on the coffee called Steam and Bean. Now it looks like they're actually invested in the train station a little bit. Is that a waiting room I see over there? We never used to have one of those here. All of these used to be just boarded up doors. So it looks like the train station has actually had a little bit of money invested in it. What I'd like to see is a train straight from Melton to Skegness. And straight from Skegness back to Melton again. Here we are down at Parkside. As I was saying before, today's mainly about dog walking in ultra hot heat. And I've explained myself, like I say, with different dog breeds and things like that. If you go online and look at the original Staffy Bull Terrier, it was actually a long-legged beast. But through selective breeding, they're now short and stocky and stout. And some of these dogs that are selectively bred, for example, the British Bulldog has got a flat face, has trouble breathing. These are the ones you don't want to be taking out in ultra hot heat. These designers dogs that people seem to think is okay to breed them and selectively breed them to their own sort of way that they want to breed them to keep them happy and not the dog happy. The ones, that are telling us not to take dogs out in ultra hot heat. But again, these people just don't have a fucking clue. They just sell their pugs at £1,000, £2,000 and then wonder why it only lasts so many years. That's life. So as you can see, it's all coming to a close. I believe there's still a free one going on from 12 till 4 today. Not exactly sure whether that will be going ahead or not. It sounds like the music has finally stopped. But they've got to put the whole village back together, and I can't see them doing that any time before 12 o'clock, if I'm honest. But again, Scarfest 2026, I'm going to deem it a success. It wasn't too bad from what people are saying. There you go, another year gone. There will be more events. I'm pretty sure on the 2nd of August there is a 2-stroke Sunday going on down at the village in the park. So that means you can bring your scooter down. There will be drinks, there will be food and everything else. I'll be going to it and doing a video on it. So there you go. What I do want to point out is it was very windy last night. It became very windy the early hours of this morning, hence all the rubbish everywhere that we're seeing. Not Town Estate's fault. The bins are still full. It's Sunday morning. It didn't finish till 11 last night. So people can't really complain if they see a bit of mess. I'm just taking a quick walk around the park. Then I'm going to go and grab a cup of coffee and then I've got to go and do some shopping as usual. But it's 25 to 12 on a Sunday. I'm very quiet. So let's be totally honest, it would be interesting to know exactly where all the sailing, little rowing boats, not sailing boats, have gone. These are the old signs from the calf that used to be here years ago. But yeah, it'd be interesting to know where all the structure's gone and everything else. I've spotted the boats, they're in the other park. But what was the reason for the structure being taken down in the first place? And what's the story behind it? Very windy day today. But that makes for a good photo, doesn't it? If you can get the exposure correct. Which I can't, because I haven't got my camera with me. But yeah, this is an area of the park that not many people look at anymore. Just another bit of Melton. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Who remembers that over there, the measuring stick? When we didn't have such dry summers. Because we don't have hot summers in Melton, do we? We talk about net zero and everything else, and it's getting hotter and hotter. You obviously wasn't alive in 1976 when temperatures reached over 30. The difference is it's more humid nowadays and everything else, and we talk about net zero and everything else. We're trying to lower carbon emissions and everything else. Well, I agree with that if every other country was doing it, but the fact is they're fucking not, and we're just a tiny little island. Why should we have to sit for 3 hours a night without any fucking electric? All because we want to get down to net zero and suffer for it when you've got Russia, when you've got China, when you've got America, when you've got Australia and other large countries not giving a shit about carbon emissions and things like that. All I can say to that is, well, drill baby, drill. It's very windy today, so I don't know how well you can actually hear me. But I'm just down here. It looks like the kids are playing football over there, so I can't walk over there. It's like something's going on over at the pavilion. Again, I stay well out of the way of kids and stuff like that when they're playing football. They don't want somebody walking around with a fucking camera, because that's fucking weird. So I'm not going to be able to walk around here today. But again, as I was saying before about dogs and walking them in heat, there's a big difference between a working dog and a family pet. They treat working dogs completely differently to what they do family pets. And again, selective breeding has been one of the main issues around extreme heat and things like that, with dogs getting heat exhaustion and dying. Quite literally dying. All because somebody wants a fucking designer dog, a lap dog, something they can put in their handbag, something they can push around in a pushchair. Now these breeds are very, how can I put it, sought after, and in some ways people are very naive to be buying them and everything else. They don't know any difference, it's not their fault. They just want one of these pugs that look nice and that are little cute and cuddly. But they don't think about the implications of what the selective breeding process can actually do. For example, in King Charles Spaniels, do you know why their eyes bulge out? Because the fucking brain is too big for the skull. Because of the way they've been bred, it can cause brain damage, it can cause all sorts of problems. That's why their eyes bulge out. Just another example. Again, German Shepherds. They've been selectively bred to be attack dogs, but what's happened is over the years it's caused problems with the hips and the back on them. If you look at Crufts and things like that, it sort of tries to tell you exactly the way one of these dogs should look, which is sad really, because we're a dog-loving nation and you thought would know better. And again, these people online commenting on saying don't take dogs out when it's 22 degrees. It's not their fault, this is just what they've been told, this is what they've been told. And it's only happened over the past 10, 15 years or so, the same as everything under this socialist, communist type government thing we're going through at the moment. It will come back to normal, people will start to gather common sense again, and people will start to realise that not all is bad with socialism, but it's never worked in any country. It's never, you know, it's never worked, it's just never worked. So yeah, I mean, I just always stand by the thing that if you put your hand on the floor and it's too hot for you to keep your hand there and it's uncomfortable, you wouldn't put your dog on it, would you? To me, that makes perfect sense. I just thought it was worth mentioning. I'm coming for a walk in the Memorial Gardens as I can't go around the corner over there because they're all playing football and there's kids playing whatever games they're playing over there. But I thought it'd also be worth mentioning that usually, again, these people you'll see make posts online basically saying, I seen this guy today walking his dog at 11 o'clock through the centre of town and it was 23 degrees. And it's absolutely cruel to the dog, it's disgusting, he shouldn't be allowed a dog, he shouldn't be this, he shouldn't be that. He's a fucking disgusting person. Well, these are usually the people that are putting the dogs into... Somebody shouting. Putting the dogs into fucking pushchairs and painting the nails and shit like that. Which I don't particularly get. A dog's a dog. It's not a baby. But again, they don't tend to give a shit. Which is a shame. Now, do whatever you want with your dog. It's your dog at the end of the day. But again, if your dog's in a car and it's a really hot day and you've not wound the windows down, you shouldn't be putting the dog in the car anyway when it's hot weather. But if you've not wound the windows down, I totally agree with people being able and totally legal to smash the window of the car, take the dog out and give it some water. And again, I'll say it one more time, always carry water with you when you have a dog. Even in cold weather. Now, cold weather can be quite nasty as well. You've put your hand in the freezer before, haven't you, and your thumb's got stuck to something and it's took the skin off. Yeah, that can happen to dogs as well. But dogs have been, the ones that haven't been selectively bred, they've evolved. Their pads are not human hands, but they are still sensitive. Now, you can get these little shoes that you get for dogs that you can put on them, but that doesn't give you an excuse to go walking it in 31 degree heat where it's going to get heat exhaustion and more than likely cause big problems. Now, I can deal with a dog that's cold. It's much more difficult to deal with a dog that's overheated. Much more difficult. And some of the things you see the army do, not the British army, the American army do, to black Labradors when they were out in Afghan, injecting water into the necks of the dogs so they don't actually have to drink water, was wrong. And I know this for fact. They used to inject water into the neck of the dog so they didn't have to drink water, therefore wasting time on manoeuvres. And these dogs didn't know how to lap for water, how to lap up water. And it caused problems when they came over to Great Britain. I can't say too much because obviously I signed the Official Secrets Act and stuff when I started working for them, but yeah, that's just fact. Other people haven't heard of diseases like Giardia and things like that either, but hey. Don't just take my word for it, Google it. So as promised, there's your video about walking dogs in extreme heat and what you should and should not be doing. But it looks like we've got a police car down here for some reason. I don't know why. And again, when you're walking dogs in extreme heat, just be ultra careful on what you're doing and, you know, how you actually do it. What are the police doing down here? On a Sunday. Maybe they've just parked up to go and get some dinner. Not exactly brilliant parking, is it? Let's be honest. That's going to make a wonderful short. Yeah. So why are the police here? There's an RAC van over there. Can't work out why the police car's here. What's this bus doing here on a Sunday? Rather odd. Let's have a little walk around and do some recording, see what we can come up with. Right, I'll walk towards the library. I'd like to know why that police car's there. Has something gone off over at the pub? There's no police over at the pub. It just literally looks like the park there and not done a very good fucking job of it. Very odd. Now, I can guarantee if you parked somewhere wrong and you were causing a problem, you'd be the first one to be pulled over, but for the police to just park like that, I think it's a bit ridiculous, but there you go. The old shopping trolley, just been left. This is where you used to be able to walk through to the college with a single car parked in there. You used to be able to walk straight through here until they built that middle bit and then put the monument that was in there right in the middle of the memorial gardens. Why they'd do that, I honestly don't know. But yeah, that police car, there's somebody sat in it. As you can see, I'm going to take a walk round to Iceland, get my shopping done, get home and polish this video up and get it ready for going online. But yeah, again, the police car parked very skew-if. Let's crack on. Has somebody got into this place or something? I can't work out what's going on, mate. That was supposed to be a Scottish accent. A very shit one at that. I'm shit at accents, always have been. But there you go, let's turn around. Not seeing much else happening. Again, I don't know why the police are down there, parked all skew within one of the parking bays, but this place ain't been broken into, has it? No. I'm going to continue to record just in case I come across a policeman and find out what's going on. But they just seem to be sat in the car, parked all skew-if. Now normally you park like that if you're in some sort of issue, don't you? But hey, what else can you do? So as we come towards the end of another video on this Sunday in town, I've just been talking to a couple that have got a rescue dog, a Mallee. Yeah, they're just training it, they're bringing it out, socialising the dog and everything else. And I've just been chatting to them about basically, oh yeah, you're right, basic dog control and everything else, because they weren't too sure about it and stuff. Looks like the police are actually looking for somebody. I don't know who. But yeah, I was just chatting to him about dogs and stuff like that, and whether you should be walking them in certain heats and stuff like that. Well, yes, like I said before, it's totally fine to walk a certain breed of dog in 24 degrees and lower. But if you have something like a King Charles Spaniel, a pug or something like that, that can cause problems. It looks like they've gone in. Is the policeman going for a pint? Anyway, as soon as something happens, I'll start the video. See you in a minute. So it looks like the police are actually looking for somebody who I do not know. I never intended to be doing this sort of activity. They put the lights on. I'm a bigger kid than you. So off they go. It looks like they're searching for somebody. I don't know who, why, where or when. Bless your heart. And by the way, just so we'll make it clear, they're not on blues and twos, so they're not running out for emergency and things like that. I think they're just looking for somebody who I do not know. I've still got to go down to Iceland and pick up some bread and milk and stuff. Now these guys are doing really well with this dog. As you can see, they keep feeding it cheese every time. Every time another dog walks by. Wonder if they'll turn the corner here. Well, let's have a look. Which way will the police go? Yeah, they're coming down here. So it looks like they'll be going down Leicester Road somewhere, probably towards the park or something like that, who knows. But this has been Street Switch Photography. If you like this video, like and subscribe, go and hit the notification bell, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and I hope this video has been informative for you. Again, keep an eye on dogs, look after them and everything else, and just make sure you love them as part of your family. Bye for now.